Everyone else ready? All ready. All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Madison Board of Education Facilities Committee to order. It is 6:41 p.m. We have our first order of business is indoor air quality reports.
Yes, so a little history around the indoor air quality reports that are required by the state now every year. These are our personal assessments. So these are the evaluations and assessments that we do in-house every year. This is required by state law. I have to present these to you, which I've given you the 90 pages of assessments that we've done. Once they're presented to the board, then we publish them on the school's district website, or you could put them to the individual schools accordingly. I think it's easier if we just put them all in one spot. We've already got the page set up to do this. And this has to be done again. This was a result of COVID and the result of discovering that systems in schools were not operating optimally and providing poor air quality in the building. Last year was our first go around with this. This is our second year with this. I've already submitted the report. There's a separate report that has to be submitted to the state of Connecticut. We don't have to submit the 90 pages. We just have to say that we've done it and that these are the following areas that we have accomplished. They have a check on the report that I've submitted to the state saying that pending the presentation of this report or these assessments to the Board of Ed, that we will then upgrade our report to the state saying that they are on our website, and I provide them with a URL and we're clear for a year. These are the annual reports. We also have to provide every 5 years a commissioned report from a professional. So it's either going to be an engineer, a balancing report, an HVAC specialist, and every school once every 5 years has to go through this assessment that the district will have to pay for. This is going to be something that we're going to have to add into our budget. These are going to start being due July 1, 2026. It's estimated it's going to be anywhere between $50,000 and $60,000 per school to do this test. The advantage being with the amount of work that we're doing in this district in regards to new schools, upgraded HVAC systems at Polson, upgraded HVAC systems at the Danningham High School, we will have a 3-year grace where we won't have to do this because we'll have had those reports. Those reports, once the systems are installed, are exactly what the reports in the state is looking for. So with that being said, we have submitted our annual inspections. There's nothing special about these inspections other than the fact that they're designed for the school personnel, our maintenance crew, to verify and look for problems. That's why we're checking off individual items. They're basically, if we see something, we have the opportunity to fix it, as opposed to being blind and not letting or just going into each one of these systems and waiting for it to fail. And then meanwhile, we could have stopped a poor air quality situation. You'll see it's really simple. It's based on food-based products. There's, idling around the district. It's all on the rooftop units and so on. So that is my presentation to you on the air quality. There's no action that needs to be done. It's just the fact that now that they're going to be publicly available.
Okay. Now go ahead first.
How was it tested?
So we don't test anything, but these are just inspection reports. The test will come when we hire these folks when they're due July 1, 2026. That's when the professionals they'll bring the systems up to full throttle. They'll run them at 100%. They'll make sure that they can maintain that level of efficiency. And it's only going to be for the rooftop units. That's in any air handling system. They want to just make sure that the boilers, the air handlers, the rooftop units, RTUs, DOAs are all operating at peak performance.
So it's basically airflow. They're not testing for mold or other things.
No, they're going to test for everything. Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of the whole mark. That's part of the whole test.
Okay.
The whole purpose of us doing these annual tests is to prevent that mold from coming and creeping up on us, because one of the checks on that is there any evidence of water in the unit? Is there mold? Do you see water intrusion on the ceiling tiles from a leaky roof?
Okay.
So our job is supposed to be kind of the boots on the ground looking for problems.
Mechanical inspection.
Right.
Inspection.
The job of the tech is to make sure that the system is operating exactly as it was designed to do.
Alright, so my question is, so Han's gonna have their rooftop units finished this coming summer.
That's correct.
So then they'll get a 3-year grace period, that takes us to 28.
Well, we will get a report from them. And we can either choose to submit the 2 reports that we'll end up, because we'll end up with Hand and Neck River at the same time, and we could submit those 2. The state requirement is 20% of your schools every year, every 5 years. So we don't have to do them all at once, but if I have 2 reports, I'll submit those forwards, and then if that clock starts for those 2 schools. So then we'll have Pulse in the year after, I'll then submit that one, and then the clock starts for that one. So we just have to kind of keep an eye on the time
So then,
frame.
but we're gonna have to do Brown then for
We'll have to do
July 2026.
that. We could choose not to. It's up to us, whatever school we want to submit.
I'm just trying to think of like how to space them out, so that they're not the same year, all the schools come due.
That's, yes, so. I can't wait on the, if, for example, if we have Hand and Neck River done in the same year, those 2 should move forward. So that the clock is starting on them. And then we would have it be that we would end up with probably 1 year, we would have to do 2 schools at once.
But these have to be done every 5 years, but you said there's a 3-year grace period.
That was poor choice of words on that. Yeah, no, we don't have a 3-year grace. We don't have to pay for anything really for the first 2 years, because we would already have these reports in hand from the projects. So for
The clock starts for us like 2028.
2028, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just have a little.
Yep. We have a little bit of time. The issue being is that I couldn't hold a report for a year and say, well, then we'll just submit that one the next year. So for example, if we had both Hand and Neck River done at the same time frame, I couldn't say, well, I'm gonna submit Hand and then hold Neck River and we'll do it again. Now, if Neck River's report doesn't come through, or the balancing report doesn't come through until the following year, we could do that then. It's just whenever we receive that report, that's the year that I gotta submit it.
So we'll be submitting Hands this year?
Oh, yeah, this will
even
be done this year.
before-
Yeah, because they'll do a full balancing report on it.
This
That's
summer.
exactly what you have to submit. Yep,
And then Polson's gonna be done
the following year.
the following.
Pete, I was gonna ask you to talk about the budgetary impact at some point. So it's about $50,000.
You'd have to figure $50,000 per school per year moving forward.
Okay. And the original legislation was that every school had to be done at once.
Yes, all at once.
Yeah,
So they let us do one.
and I think they recognized, and there's a local connection to this that I'll let Pete share, but the state recognized after they had passed this, that there's only so many people that do this work, first of all. And
Right,
so that would have just driven cost up and made it almost impossible for schools to comply. And then also the budgetary impact. I mean, if we're sitting here with 4 schools next year, could you imagine, larger districts and what they would have to go through and the costs that they would have? So yeah, so like I said, it's about $50,000. Ben was part of the.
Ben petitioned the legislators last year when this was coming into a head. And there was like, you have 5 people that can do this in the state of Connecticut. There's 169 towns, all with multiple schools, and you're asking them to do all of these in 1 year, that it's impossible to do. So they were able to back it off and say, okay, you need to have to provide for 20% of your schools every year over a period of 5 years. So every 5 years you have to re-up it.
So are we gonna just put that as a regular stand-in line item in the
Yep.
budget, like up top, how we have?
Eventually it's gotta be almost be like an ES visit
Yeah.
where we'll
Okay.
potentially alter from year to year. It might be some years 0, other years, 5 years from next year, it might be 100,000, so we'll have to kind of track it like that.
Certainly a smaller burden having consolidated our physical plans.
Yes, because you would have
Yeah.
had 6 with
Another
TCLC,
150,000.
yes, yeah.
plus you're starting with.
Can't imagine TCLC would
Right.
cost 50,000, but yeah, right, like,
Yeah.
I think you'd have a cost, yeah. For that, yeah.
So, yeah, this is again, also, this is a big deal. This is also if we don't have these things published on our district website. And if we haven't submitted our annual inspections, it does affect the school's ability to receive statewide grants. So they're gonna check that. The first thing that DES is gonna do is go, did you submit your report? And they'll check and see, if you did, good, the grant goes forward. So that's a pretty important thing.
You mentioned that these were results of COVID.
This whole indoor air quality
Okay.
process came down from the state as a result of COVID.
But were we doing anything, we must have been doing something along those lines prior to COVID in terms of inspections of kitchen stuff and all that.
There was kitchen inspections, but there was never the level of inspections or checklists that were being done for the air handling units and the boilers.
Okay, got it.
And then, you know, all of this got tied into the no idling law.
Right,
So-
okay, yeah.
You've heard of Tools for Schools, I know that's been mentioned.
That's what we use.
That was what we had used before, and that
Yep.
was a process that if a teacher had a concern, it could go to there first. And then there was a committee that would meet regularly and go over kind of concerns or go through schools, but this is kind of that on steroids.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
state made it mandatory for schools to use the EPA's Tools for School program. That's
Okay,
what
got
we
it.
base everything off of.
Thank you.
So we'll have those inspections published by tomorrow.
Okay.
And I will provide the state with the URL so that they can go and make sure that we're doing everything correctly. We're gonna be doing this again next year, but we'll do it December 1st. It's just, it was too close to the deadline. I had to have the stuff done by December 31st last year. That was January 31st, and then they backed it off a month. So next year we'll do it a little early. We'll be a month ahead. So, all right, see you in 11 months.
Sure, we'll cross paths before then. Thank you.
So
All right, yeah.
I guess I'm next on that, so I'm gonna do a real high level, I know I already gave you a pretty detailed construction manager report back in December.
Yep.
I'm just gonna give you some high level stuff on what's been moving forward.
Great.
So at this point, we are. Here. The hand baseball and turf field conversion, Green Hill softball field turf replacement. Castle Booze was not prepared for their December meeting with the town planner and geotech. They're still drafting up the contract. We're kind of in a hold pattern right now with KBA. We're just having a little bit of coming together problems with them. But everything seems to be moving forward. We've had a little bit of a stall. Hold on a second here. Brown site work in the playground. Things are moving forward there. They've met with the town zoning department. Applications are being submitted. They're still working around the playground area to avoid a costly pad and surface area in the mount section of where, because of the grade of where Brown is. For the playgrounds, it's going to be kind of an interesting little, we're still in the decision of cutting in or raising up. So we want to make sure we have to get a certain depth for all the foundation work that holds all the pieces together. The Brown pre-K room conversion, final plans were received from TechCon. They visited the site with a major subcontractor to finalize the scope. They did a test on window caulking, which thankfully was negative. We don't have to worry about any containment there. Pricing was received in mid-December, and funding strategy was finalized. Held a final scope clarification review meeting with BPM and Gordian. Confirmed that BMP would start on April 12th and continue straight through to completion in June. High level schedule is being drafted right now. BMP is the contractor, is covering the abatement project and monitoring and testing services. Confirmed construction timeframe and complete vacancy requirement is going to be during the week of April break, so they can do all their abatement work in there. The principal's drafted up the contract award sheet, and this is going to be for a January 14th Board of Selectmen approval.
Can I ask just one
Yep.
question? So you said work starts April 12th through June. So the work will continue while students are in school, but that wing will be.
Right,
closed
well,
off?
we chose that time frame because there's no kids in the building and we
Yeah.
can do the abatement work.
But then after.
Then
April
after that,
break?
we're gonna finish it off, yeah.
Okay,
Brown interior signage is still on the move. We're just waiting for vendor pricing at this point. Brown Media Center, FF&E and flooring. That's gonna be happening over the summer as well, where this is basically we're taking up all the books and all the shelving out. We're gonna put a whole new floor in, and then all the new shelving goes in. So that's pretty exciting at this point. Oh, the biggest one, the district-wide move management. We met with the movers earlier in mid-December. We are in really good shape. We've got a pretty good system dialed up. We're farther ahead than most other schools are at this point in the process. So Myers has no issues. I think we actually cut a purchase order now for the purchase of 5,000 boxes. So the staff's gonna get ready to do the big bug out, and it's gonna be, we've got it going on. It's gonna go really well. I have real good confidence.
Any word on the pricing, like maybe?
Yeah, we came in
Well,
well within our price, our full price margin. It was pleasantly surprised on
I'd
that.
like to hear that.
Yeah, so we're in really good shape. Really good shape with that whole line item. Neck River Elementary, it's status quo. Everything's perfect. It's running well, on time, on budget. No issues that we've seen at this point. I've got to skip through here because I've got quite a few that are town side. Polson site sign, we had to go to zoning to get the a minor site plan review. So we're on the same track as that. It's the exact same style sign that's going at Brown and Neck River. And let's see here, lastly.
So was that approved or is pending approval or?
It's approved. They were the zoning department. Or it was kind of an interesting thing where they were missing some application or review from ACA. So, you know, it's not a problem. It was just that we had to go through the motions on them, and I suspect we'll have the approval and the permit in the next week or two.
Yeah, ACA is the design and style committee in town.
And let's see here if I got this. I know this sounds strange. We're still dealing with some punch list items from Mountford over at Brown from the work they did back in 2023. At this point, I think we've held retainage on them. I think we're agreeing to separate ways and have it done ourselves and use the retainage to finish up the job. So that's where we stand with that. The lockers, Polson locker room shelving issue, we rectified that over the Christmas break. It's all done. I believe there was a couple shelves they ran short on, or they were wrong, but it's basically the project's completed. They raised them all up and used a heavier gauge so that they won't be bending the shelves when they step on them. And that's it. We did also one thing, we did 3 interviews for specialty carpentry services for the school and town. We were able to award it to 2 contractors. Those 2 contractors are JJ Sullivan Contracting and Secondino and Sons. So those are our 2 on-call contractors for the district. That's for work beyond what our folks can do in the maintenance department. So really anything that's more than $10,000 worth of work, we have an on-call carpenter.
That's unrelated to our existing construction. That's an always.
That's just, yeah, these guys are on call. We've already set the prices. So for example, if we have, a perfect example is the library, the Brown Library, to assemble all of the furniture that came.
Oh.
We couldn't do that with our crew and expect it to be on top of the regular maintenance.
Yeah.
So they have been contracted to put all that stuff together. It would be another thing, for example, like if we've got new bleachers that we wanted to put in over again, small bleachers at the tech, and we had our guys do the other ones, but it just takes too long, too many guys. We would send that out to them. That's
And
it.
they're on retainer, so you don't have to go to bid.
You don't have to go to bid, they're already set, right? And we've got a signed contract with them for, I believe it's 1 or 2 years, I wanna say, it's 2 years. Any questions?
Any questions, Stephen?
No.
That's a lot.
I just, I learned at the new school building, committee meeting. The other day that, I guess a crew from Daniel Hand High School is going over to, film and maybe do like a news report type of thing on Neck River School. I just wondered, like, when that's done, if we can arrange to have the board get copies of that, I think would be cool.
Yeah, I've shared with the board a couple times, the kind of pre-engineering crew that's been over there a few
Yeah.
times. That's been great. I got to see that the second time. I couldn't.
Huge
The
success.
first time, but they are treated so well, so welcoming. They feed them pizza and the kid, and, you know, I just am so impressed by the contractors who are just so open and excited to share their work. We've talked about how to recognize them at the end of the process, you know, at the board level, public level, you know, to share that. So that's been great, and I hadn't heard that yet, so that's something we
Dr.
certainly.
Cook, I don't know if you realize also, they just sent out, this Gilbane sent out the contacts for every lead trade person to the schools for those kids that have been going there to directly contract the lead carpenter, lead lead metal worker, the lead, you know, mason.
Yeah.
For questions that they had that they didn't get answered while they were on tour. So
That's so
the
cool.
entire Daniel Hand High School, those folks that have gone over there have those contacts and are encouraged to call them and text them on anything that they have questions on. That's really
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really good. And they're getting a lot of positives from it. There's a lot of kids that are inquiring about, you know, what do I need to do to get into this area?
Probably get internships and then, I
Awesome.
mean, it's
Yep.
amazing.
Yep, it's great. I think it's coming from that area and been teaching that area for so long. It's really nice to see, and you know, these kids are. Not to go off topic of what I was presenting to you guys, but this is a really great opportunity for kids to get a career going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically come out of this whole thing with no debt and a great job.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
And there's some new courses in the CTE track, right, directly related to like construction
Construction, yeah,
management and
it's-
design, and so it's such a nice
It
connection
really
there.
is great. And then Gilbane's bending over backwards for it. It's awesome.
I'm so glad.
Tecton too.
Yeah, I do have to get over to the Board of Selectmen meeting.
You go.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Thank you.
One quick, yes, the first item you shared, the 2 ball fields,
Yes,
you shared that they were a little bit behind, and we're kind of. That's design work.
That's design
because
work.
it wouldn't start this summer. I
That's
just
right.
didn't want the board to think
No.
that we're behind. And the softball field is a town project. The baseball field is ours.
right. We
Sure, yeah.
loop the two together
Yes.
because we got a better price.
Of course, yeah, right. No, it's another, you know, example. You're on both sides, so you know, you're doing both, but it's a good example of working together with the town. Obviously, you know, that's our primary softball field, so it's important.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Peter.
Peter.
Do you need me at the Board of Ed? That'll be-
No, you
that'll be my
stay
board
over
meeting.
there. I think they.
I think you're
they
needed
need
over
you,
there.
over there.
I'd be happy if you had something for me here.
Where's the signal?
Nice try.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Our next item is public comment, but do committee members have any other comments or notes or questions? No. So do we have anyone online?
Yes.
So if you're joining us online and you'd like to make a public comment, just raise your hand and you'll be called upon. Just state your name and address. It should be noted that committee meetings like this aren't a time for back and forth conversation, but we will contact you if necessary. So if you'd like to speak, just raise your hand. Okay, no. Okay, anything else? No one's in person. All right, so we will go ahead and adjourn at 7:05.